UFC on ESPN 54 reaction, Blanchfield versus Fioro. This was a strange card, a really strange card. So strange, it looked like an episode of The Twilight Zone or The X-Files. It would have fit right in there. So we had Callan Legrand versus Angel Pachero, and I don't remember much about this fight, but Callan Legrand looks like Drew Dober, and he fought like him too. Angel Pachero was landing strikes as well, but they didn't have much oomph to them, whereas Legrand's punches and kicks had a lot more oomph. And that was the deciding factor, and Callan Legrand got the unanimous decision. Then we had Jacob Malkoun versus Andrei Petroski. Another strange fight with a strange ending. It was a back and forth until Petroski fell down, and the way he fell down, it looked like he twisted his leg. I thought he twisted his leg at first, but then the replay showed that as Petroski was going for a takedown, he hit his head on Malkoun's hip, as strange as that may sound, and Malkoun took advantage of that and finished Andrei Petroski off. So he got the TKO in round 2, 39 seconds of round 2. Then we had Nate the Train Lardver versus Jammal Emmers. Jammal Emmers looked like Thimba Darimbo, and Thimba Darimbo is good, but Jammal Emmers looked even better. He was piecing up Nate Lardver the feet. He was landing at will. So it looked like Jammal Emmers was going to get the easy win. But at one point, there was a turning point where Nate Lardver turned it more into a gritty inside type of fighting. And then Nate Lardver started having success, and he landed the inside hook, and Jammal Emmers fell to the floor, knocked out, and Nate Lardver punched him one more time, and it was over. It was a KO in round 1. Great victory for Nate Lardver. Then we had Kyle Nelson versus Bill Algeo. Bill Algeo was the hometown favorite, Kyle Nelson from Canada. And it was a TKO in round 1 for Kyle Nelson. It was strange because it was an early stoppage. Like, Kyle Nelson was punching him and Bill Algeo was rocked. But Bill Algeo motioned with his hands like, keep coming, like I'm still in here. But the referee thought that Bill Algeo was done for, and he called it off. So some might argue it was an early stoppage. Then we had Sultan Ruzibayev versus Cedric Dumas. Another controversial finish because it looked like there was an eye poke right before the finish, but Ruzibayev got the knockout in round 1, but Dumas was bleeding from his eye, and it looked like Ruzibayev poked him. Then we had Chris Weidmam versus Bruno Silva. And great fight. Chris Weidmam looked back in shape. He looked like he threw the stronger shots, even though Bruno Silva successfully defended takedowns. But another strange ending. Chris Weidmam knocked out Bruno Silva in the 3rd round. It was a TKO, like a hook over, like Bruno Silva came lunging in, and then Chris Weidmam came with a hook around Bruno Silva's head, and Silva fell down, and Chris Weidmam finished him off. But when they showed the replay, as Bruno Silva was lunging in, Chris Weidmam eye poked him two times, quite strongly, it looked like. But they still when they announced the victory, it wasn't sure if it was going to be a no contest or a win for Chris Weidman. They announced the win as a TKO victory for Chris Weidman, but like a few seconds later, they said they overturned it, and it wasn't a TKO. It was a unanimous decision, or a technical unanimous decision, because those eye pokes were too obvious. So they rated the rounds until that point, and they gave those rounds to Chris Weidman. But it's funny how in this fight they still announced Chris Weidman as the winner, but in the Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan fight, it was, they said they announced Aljo as the winner. I guess it's because even though there was the eye pokes, after the eye pokes there was a legitimate punch that knocked Bruno Silva down. So because the eye pokes were part of the finishing sequence, it was okay. But then we had Joaquim Buckley versus Vicente Luque, and yeah, Vicente Luque doesn't seem to be that good. Like, Joaquim Buckley just did whatever he wanted to him. As Vicente Luque went for a takedown. No, I don't remember what happened exactly, but Vicente Luque was down on the ground, and Vicente Luque pulled guard, and Joaquim Buckley was on top of him, just punching his head, and Luque couldn't block, and he got the TKO victory. So great win for Joaquim Buckley. And we had Blanchfield versus Fioro, and Fioro got the victory. Unanimous decision. Well done to her. Like and subscribe.